Today I was looking for, well, for this thing here that you see right there. That's a sugar. Normally this thing is here. That's a normal place. Or it's here because it's used frequently, basically that's why. All through, I have to say, I almost don't use one at all. I did purchase myself just a few days ago, for the first time I did. It's a raw sugar, unrefined sugar is what it is. Non refinato. You see, non-refined sugar, right there. First time bought this. I said, why not to try and see if this is maybe is gonna have a different effect on me. And so I opened one the day before yesterday, and I stored this inside of the room. Regretfully, I have to say that after I did found the sugar, I said to myself this morning, I said, what the fuck is going on here? Because sugar disappeared. It was invisibly like this positioned. And my mother told me under MK Ultra, when it's not going to be good for you, it's going to put this here. What this here is, the name is Droptina. Droptina, that means drubini. The way she translated to me during MK Ultra was drob. That's basically intestines. Drubiti, smash, crush, and this and that. So evidently that this is not good for me. But I have to say something else. All through, I didn't even pay attention to this thing because I didn't help myself with it. What I stored inside of the room already was glued together, means some kind of liquid, probably water, was dripped inside. And that's a stuff that's not appreciated. That's another thing. This is how you start the fucking day, basically. Would you like to start the day like this? I don't think so. And I have to go and I have to return this thing here. This here. Because yesterday I went into a vitamin store. I'm just gonna... It's a vitamin store that is a little bit, unfortunately, a really low-end store, but still too expensive for me. I don't know what the name is, San Labor, something like this, I don't know. And then basically what I did was, that's the wrong bill. The name of that store is Sano Labor, and I couldn't afford myself to buy anything. They're really still low-end store, but too expensive. And so I went into even a little bit cheaper store. It's called DM. It's called the DM store, so that's a store right here, and I purchased myself some multivitamins for $110, and for $250 I bought myself pulver with a vitamin C, 100 grams, whatever, $250 it was the price, just so that I would make it home and find this thing here, a plastic that seals, that you have to pull to open this thing apart. Already removed. In other words, this already opened. So this is basically how you started the day. Have you ever had a day like this? The cancer rate is about, in worst countries, something over 400, around 400 per 100,000 people. It's not even a big fucking chance that you get a cancer. But in my life, during MK Ultra, it was all about cancer. I did nothing other but listen 26 years people around me talking about the cancer. And in real time, make no mistake, I did nothing, but I was completely surrounded with a cancer news. Everything around had fucking cancer. It was all about cancer. Cancer, cancer, died cancer, 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 cancer. A difficult way to start the day, that's all I'm saying. Even more difficult when you think about there is a police department here. You can call for help, because this issue right here that you see, this is the issue straight for the police. This is what police should investigate immediately. Obviously, they saw me going to what is this, the San Labor or whatever it is, and then they saw me going into DM store. Obviously, when I was, well, I should say they knew I'm gonna go to a cheaper store since I couldn't get anything affordable in that store, right? Sano Labor or whatever it is. So this is the way to start the day. How many times in your life have you started the fucking day like this? You know, I'm just saying, but this shit goes issue with the cancer 24/7 that I feel on my skin. Gland node, lymph node cancer I'm talking about. This is the stuff all through. They also played with the skin. That's another issue. They played also with the skin. Issue separate I yet have to come to. But how many times in your life did you start a day like this? Cancer, nobody had in my family ever cancer. This is not this it shouldn't be this 100,000. It shouldn't be even in my case, it shouldn't be even 410 million. For me to finish the video about the store, several investigating police officers were involved in this, claiming me that whether I like it or not, there is no way to help me out. Otherwise, I am gonna have to involve one of them in the case. That something like this is not permitted in MK Ultra, in post MK Ultra, whatever you want to call this, because you can see the people meeting me that were involved in MK Ultra. Both girls were involved in this stuff. It was the chief of the police again, Yana Zogulin, that insisted on how this stuff has to be reported, regardless. It was something about whether they have cameras inside of the store or not, and then it was concentrated, narrowed into issue of which one of the two girls that worked inside of the store I cannot recall either one of the two. Which one of the two girls planted this to you? That's the kind of game. And it all started with what appeared was American who brought me, this must have been 2017, who brought me from walk, from exercise home. And he took this box of C vitamins. And I didn't grasp any of it. But he seated me next to him, and it was other people also at the table, right here inside of the kitchen. And they discussed, that's fucked up, fuck this, you know, how can they do this, how can they do that, tra 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 tra. Ask me if what would I do with it to get question from me, well, what's going on, what's this, we went to the store, I went to the store, you remember, we went to the store, I purchased this, and so what, it was opened, under MK Ultra. What can I tell you about so much shit they involve in it? I didn't even, if I go back in time, I didn't even give him response on what to do, because this was just, in my eyes, based on what I have gone through, when you get 10,000 death threats, here in Slovenia alone, this is a small fish to talk about even. He continued, he proceeded to ask me, are you going to use this? They're going to do this to you. They're going to do this to you. As a matter of fact, I'm wrong. I'm wrong about it. I asked him, so well, what is it? Is it poison inside or what is it? He said, no, it's not. It's okay. You see, under MK Ultra, they presented this stuff in such a way that you would even end up yesterday consuming that product without knowing what is inside, rather than taking it back. A report to the police, but this is not the police. So, no poison inside, no poison inside. He said, but what, he asked me then, he said, what would you do? I said, if it's no poison, then what is the problem? This is how it works under MK Ultra. You're just, they repeated this stuff on several occasions with more or less the same scenario that wouldn't expand your vision in any way. And this was done sometimes in 2017, 2015 maybe, repeated maybe in 2017. I know they repeated at least on 2 separate occasions, so I think 2015 and 2017. Just want you to know basically how this stuff goes. So what do you take it from here? What do you take it from here is to the internet. That's where you take it from here. It really doesn't matter. The Novo Mesto police station is not going to see me ever again, except when I come with the police inside and see the police walking out with hands behind their necks. That's the only thing. I wouldn't dare to even approach to that police station like that. That police station is fucked up. There is really no police officer that at that police station that I would go and turn my back to. Further, this will be idiotic. There is still individual
that administered crime on behalf of other superintendents, superiors, directors, his bosses, even when he started, that is there as a director, as a police director. This is not a police station where you would go and report the crime. You don't want to do this. I did report the crime. Eventually they turned against me and took actions against me that are completely, even from the point of view that I reported this stuff to this police station, they took actions against me that are completely, I'm not going to say in war with the law and with the rights and so on, but they fucking violated laws. This police station, this is like, you know, hello, 1-800 mafia or gangsters or something like this. And the next thing you do is you answer the phone call on which, rather than the name is given to you, the question is, when do you want to be killed? That's all. This was supposed to be used for one of the, even as exit scenarios, for my help, to help me out and investigate and so on. Start the investigation and so on. Well, the thing is that the one who planned this shit yesterday, it's not difficult to figure out, it was a police from Central Police Station. Nobody does stuff like this. Nobody does stuff other than police investigators, people that are directly under, actually they're not directly under, okay, to be precise about this stuff. This is a department that is separate, basically it should be separate from the rest of the police. Listen, yesterday Janez Ogulin, director of Novo Mesto Police, again exercised several attempts on me with the idea to obtain some kind of statements against the Roma people and so on. There's no fucking day that they would not throw themselves in front of me with issues trying to evolve into anything that he could get, that he could use, that he could give to his owners over there in Ljubljana, to Borut Pahor, Tanja Fajon, Milan Kučan, Danilo Turk, Miran Potrč and so on. There's not a single fucking day that would pass by that these people, the police, I'm talking about the Novo Mesto, would not try to cook problem. There's not a single fucking day. When you keep pushing with irrefutable proofs and so on about the so-called MK Ultra case, but the only thing that happens is they bring the people in the picture that did some really, really bad stuff. That's all there is to it, with the hope to remind you of what was done to you, and with a price tag, identify me. Tell me who I am, basically. The DM is a German store. There is some other German stores here, and I don't know how much is the case with other stores. Maybe they did this mutually, maybe they agreed mutually they would do something like this, but I would sincerely place cameras inside of the stores and track activity of employees because this is just it just as much it concerns somebody else. It's not this is not about the Slovenian state alone. A little bit help for Slovenian police. You see, when I was familiarized with idea on what exactly I should eat about, and that's what the Germans did, Americans did, mostly Germans did, Americans did, what I should eat to survive, what is good and what is not good for you, basically to survive, to get by. Well, you know, the only thing I'm gonna say to you is the moment you did this to me, it became clear to me that I'm gonna be poisoned during MK Ultra. You know, they brainwashed about, you know, this issue on what to do to survive. You know, in 2013, when I acknowledged my mother as somebody used basically by state employment agency to blackmail me, to blacklist me on employment market, to keep me away from employment, so that my mother can prepare, so my dear mommy can prepare the food for me. My mama can prepare the food for me. And that's the food, if you like, I will give you a plate and stress on you, you know, if you don't mind to be called bugger, lazy, good for nothing like this, and bon appetit, by the way. The food that, do you want to be, I don't know, at that time I was like 43 years old. 41 to be exact. Do you mind? Well, I do. I like to be independent. I like to go by myself whenever I want something. I always prided myself to have better cars than other people, better stuff than other people, because I also worked my ass for that kind of stuff. You can't judge somebody by what he has, and not by what he have done in his life to get these things. Now, because there's a big accent here in Slovenia about equality, you know, equality. It's an accent on equality because it's about the thuggery, it's about the theft, it's about killing somebody, in this case destroying somebody's life, 28 years of life, make money with it, they made tremendous money with it, and make even more money, and always undermine him, like, this is not your fucking money, like a mayor here, Macedonia, insisted that I owe Slovenia $2 billion. That's what he insisted. Borut Pahor insisted they owe Slovenia $2 billion. No, it's you that fucking owes me. You destroyed my life. You're gonna go to European Court for Human Rights. You're gonna be sued for this shit. I don't know you shit. You destroyed my life. You're gonna fucking pay dearly for this stuff. Dearly you're gonna pay for this stuff. It's just really, really disturbing issues. They pack inside of me disturbing issues, man. To make it short, Psychiatric Hospital Ljubljana Polje scored big time in 2013, because I started about 2013, when I stated that my mother is a bitch, a whore, and no good. I did. stated stuff like this. I do not regret stating one, not even slightest. Behind the food, behind everything that went on inside, it was a real abuse that went on. But I did not perform one. I did not perform physical. I did not perform psychological abuse. I made a complaint. It's my right to make a complaint. However, when I did this, they turned against me the whole thing in such a way that it was Aleksandar Vučić in Serbia who stated me, we never say about the mother that the food is poisonous. I never said about the mother that she cooked poisonous food. The food was poisonous from the point of view that it was the food that was, as I stated, just as I previously stated, you want, here, bon appetit, eat, you shit, you no good, you fucking nobody, you this, you that. And yes, the food that I ate, the food was shit. I never stated it was poisonous, I just stated the food was shit. Always a fucking pizza without nothing other than toast, maybe a little bit on the top, greasy with a lot of cheese. If it was from one store, on the other hand, you got the fucking pizza that was without anything on the top. And you got the third option, because of which my father, maybe I can say, did even go to hospital. Maybe he did not, I don't know. This is more about my father because he played with this before, but he sure did gain weight. So you can't say that that food was exactly the best food, or that that was the food I would purchase for myself. Keep in mind, when I was younger, before I went to the US, and it's also how I returned from the US, I was fit. I was not like I was in 2013. They played with a cancer for no less than 25 years with me under MK Ultra. They play with food. They poison me with the food. See what impact has local food supplies on me. Food, they refer to the one you like. Now, what do people eat? What do they resort themselves when they're depressed? I did not know this shit is gonna go beyond 1 year, 2 years, whatever. What do? You grab a cup of coffee real fast. You grab anything that is under your fingers, and you go, what you do? You go write the fucking complaints, right? You write the complaint and you send one to Strasbourg, to the United Nations, and what happened? They don't fucking see you. They don't see you 2, they don't see you 5, they don't see you 10. They don't fucking see you. You know, 2013 was 9 years ago. 2013 was no less than 15 years after I sent complaint to the Strasbourg, to United Nations. So what do you do? What do you do? What are you gonna do? You wanna remain inside of the aquarium where you're gonna get the food like this? Or do you wanna get yourself a job? In other words, you want to accuse your mother through the state agency that she treats you like a shit, and that you do have, in other words, right to employment, that you, in other words, will not eat her shit. In other words, you're not happy with this kind of treatment. Road to nowhere. And so Aleksandar Vučić, a Serbian Chetnik, again, I shouldn't say president now, again president of Serbia, like Putin, saying shit like world power, saying shit, stress me in the face that because I stated the mother prepares shit, now I'm gonna get a cancer, I'm gonna be punished with a cancer. Well, fuck. Serbia did surgery on me in 96. They damaged one of the lymph nodes already in 96. They played with a cancer already, when you consider this, for no less than 18 years already, prior to 2013. So you're like you're not even guinea pig, man. You're just somebody waiting inside of the stall for somebody to pick him up and do whatever the fuck they want to do with it. As soon as you go sleep and you don't lock the door, you're gone. Even if you lock the door, like it did happen below, still you're gone. You're just brought back, thrown inside with the doors unlocked, basically. We're gonna do this to remind you, ha ha ha. So going back to Germans, to the German stores and so on, I would put the fucking cameras inside, and I think that was a really bad idea. They put themselves for the good luck. Even this year, they claim that I have to take pictures of it. The neighbors did. So they probably want, I don't know, get the alibi for Joe Biden so nothing bad can happen to them. Because it's, after all, it's American president. So this is American president supposedly who gave me. In a hospital, from audio recording is evident, I was told it's magnesium that is low, that I'm missing. I was taken to the DM, and what do you see right here? What do you see right here? I'm going to make it easy for you. You will not forget, right? You will not forget whether they imitated one, whether they imitated Ursula von der Leyen. I have no fucking idea. It's called magnesium. It says right there, magnesium. Listen up. This is a Mac Daddy mama of all fucking crimes you have seen in the world. You have not seen anything like this yet. Not anywhere near. Presenting one with a cure. I'm an American citizen. I shouldn't even be here. Do it. What are you trying to say to me? You're going to give me a cure. You're going to help me out with what I should eat and this and that to survive. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm an American citizen. Naturalized American citizen since 2000. So what exactly are you trying to say about this stuff? About this kind of issues? What you're going to help? How you're going to help? By providing alibi? By sharing collateral murder? With the people, that it was all about them, and us, as per what should be good for me. How the fuck can I see this other than collateral murder and my being poisoned, so that you can point me out what is good and what is bad for me and this and that, rather than what you should have paid already a long time ago. I am not going to forget in 95 and 96, actually since 96, whenever brought to Britain, to the Buckingham Palace, Charles had staff, security personnel, everybody, whenever I came, he put them in line, he lined them up. And I would go, just like you see the honor guard, or when the president goes and inspect these people, I would go from one to one to salute, to see them, how basically they're doing. In other words, like visually inspect them. Actually, that stuff started to happen in 96, In 97, it was the driver that I did not want to become a Princess Diana's driver, that Diana insisted to have as a driver. And this stuff went on for like 2 more years before it was disbanded, due to not my disrespect, but due to disrespect against me by royals in front of these employees, to the degree that Charles was actually asked by foreign diplomats why is it necessary to do this kind of ceremonies, since they treat me in such a way. Yeah, thanks God they spared me a little bit of that stuff. Maybe Charles had even good intentions so that I could recall exactly what happened, what took place, but things turned against me big time for something that, if it was done accordingly with what I instructed in 1996, maybe even 1995, in respect to Princess Diana, she would be alive, almost 100% that she would be alive today. Well, the biggest insult I got from the Buckingham Palace, from the royals, was not even their insults. They're undermining me in front of, or having their staff undermine me, insult me, either in front of their employees or have employees insult me in front of them. But the biggest insult to me, the mom of all insults, started to happen sometimes after like 2010, 2008, between 2008 and 2010. Actually, after 2010, when the police officers, 2009, were even told by the royals to watch me. Fuck this. It doesn't somehow fit the description of the brainwash I had previously endured, how I was part of that family. Definitely I was not trusted, I can say. This is just a way to not pay, to avoid what you owe somebody, and attempt to substitute what you owe to somebody with idea to confuse one, as per make him know who he even was, who he is, in this by real nobodies, if you ask me. This idea basically indifferent from Alexander Vucic, who stated, nobody treats the mother like this, nobody treats own mama like this, because you treated your mama like this, now we're gonna do the cancer on you. Come on. Completely, exactly, and I'm talking about West right now, exactly the same approach as Alexander Vucic took. I, after all, shouldn't even be here in this situation. I should never be in this situation. I should never be in this situation. I was on the picture before, way before on the picture, way before Jeff Bezos, making far more important for West decisions than Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos was way before in the picture than Elon Musk was, than baby Elon Musk was in the picture. And Elon Musk was in the picture very early. But Jeff Bezos was about the same time on the picture like myself. I got on the picture not soon after me, Jeff Bezos appeared. Not much after me, Jeff Bezos appeared in the picture. It was Mr. Panetta. You know Panetta? I don't know his first name. That got him, Anthony, I think, I don't know. That got him on a picture. He was the one who sponsored Jeff Bezos on the picture. And way before all these people, I was on the picture. And why the fuck am I in this situation? Why? So, you know why? So they can help me out, right? Or I should say, so you can help me out. So this is what this shit is. This is what this is all about. The concept itself is not much different from this Chetnik murderer Serbian over there inside of the Belgrade, Aleksandar Vučić. It's about the same shit like a Putin, Lukashenko, and so on. What do you want to teach me? What else? You brought me on a million occasions. You lied. You cheated on a million occasions. And you want to what? You want to teach me how to cross the river thirsty on 100 million occasion through the cancer, through the spine breaking procedures. This stuff was not necessary. This stuff was necessary for somebody else. Yeah, and this is not even Putin, this is not even Vučić and so on. As I stated, I'm an American citizen. What the fuck are you talking about? You did this shit because it was convenient for you. Because you did it so many times. You did it for no less than 28 years. You evaded what you should have taken care a long time ago. And because I was not even interested in your fucking money, because I didn't even want your fucking cent, your fucking dime. I wanted to buy myself a house all the way to Fort Myers, St. Petersburg on Florida, move to other parts of the US to avoid this forced unemployment massacre, move to other countries with idea to start new life. More than a dozen countries. I even filed for political asylum in other countries to save myself from your bullshit. And it was just you that needed this stuff so badly to go on. Not myself. But yeah, when you prove the MK Ultra case, when not in a fucking slightest dreams I ever considered my going into proving human trafficking and stuff like this, especially because since 1995, Charles, as I stated, started two fronts with me. On one front, it was how much money I'm gonna make, on the other front, it was about psychiatric hospitals. Psychiatry, which he used to terrorize me, to threaten me. To traumatize me with, to paralyze me. I don't think that somebody that wants to help somebody with something that's so he can get proofs that he would go and involve, psychiatric hospital in it and stuff like this and terrorize you and traumatize you with the issues like this, fuck that. That only Charlie can tell you. For me, that doesn't work. That's a bloody lie. And he also made sure on various locations throughout the world that I would never reach them unless I would want it to be killed by someone. So this here for me sucks. It's a problem. Because next to the police in the city of the Novo Mesto, next to the police in Slovenia, should have acted long time ago already. I have a problem on international level. So this is about the way to go about the fucking day. Just want you to know. I am certain that police director of the police station Novo Mesto is not gonna mind this input of mine from the West. Man, how many times have they covered his ass? How many crimes, for how many crimes have they made sure that I would mention them? So it would be flawless, so it would be flawless, so you wouldn't have to fear anything. How many fucking times don't think these people would be so courageous. I don't think they would go as far as this without a personal assurance of Charlie, and Andrew. It is okay after all, because it's always okay. But the only choice I was given at the end where I would be safe, that would basically not even in Britain. That would be basically in Scotland. Balmoral Castle area, that park, like a fish in another fucking aquarium, basically. Limited to absolutely everything. I suppose with the money heading back to the Charles pocket, and I suppose everything would be okay. Everything then will be just fine. If I repeat famous Andrew's words, we tried this with others, and trust me, it didn't work out. They got him. They killed him, one way or the other. The best for you will be right here. Nice. In 95, 96, before Nicola Sturgeon, the lady that wants Scotland to become independent now, is completely in the pocket of the British Royals. I must tell you this is a toy. Way before she was what she became. I would frequently meet her in Balmoral Castle. I would frequently meet her in Scotland, and she was so fucking nice. So nice she was that I didn't even want... she was nice with the British Royals. And at times, we would meet at Balmoral on what I was Castle, whenever trafficked from the US, because it was human trafficking, drugged up and brainwashed. And sometimes, in 99, the Prince Andrew tried to confuse me. That's where her career took off. On who she was. Right in front of them, got the stated from me, if I know Nicola. I said, yeah, sure, I know her. Where do you know her from? Well, I said, she was here many times at the Balmoral Castle. I said, very nice. And Andrew stated me, but she's not supposed to be here. And the Princess Anne also, that she's not supposed to be here, she's not supposed to be here. And I told him, how the fuck she not supposed to be here when she was next to you? So many times before. She was just standing on the side, And then they started to laugh. Oh, fuck it, man, another lie. Lies, too many to even count. Actually, all about the lie. Prince Andrew stated me, Beatrice, his daughter, Harry, William, the kids, the royal kids, they have to be constantly fucked with, in a sense, like mentally play with them, like always entangled into the world of conspiracies. I'm giving you an example. One time Beatrice sitting in a car, and it was a man driving her supposedly to some location, during which he pulled off his silicone mask, and it was wow wow, boom boom, shao shao. No, I don't know, maybe from Prince Andrew or whatever. Now, as I say, these people are not fucking normal. They're not completely 100%. And that's what they rationalize me, royals. Andrew in particular, that it was necessary to do stuff like this because they're idiots like you. So he meant me to be drugged up idiot. He acknowledged me as somebody trustful idiot, naive idiot. That's what I was for Andrew. I'm a naive idiot. I was a naive idiot for Charles and for Andrew. And so it was necessary to do the stuff like this so they wouldn't fall asleep, so they would keep alert. They were doing all kinds of shit, all kinds of stuff to these children, you know, and Kate and William and so on, all kinds of stupidities that told me, we learned from you, and things is going to be safer for our kids, but we have to do this for our kids too. Look, thanks for watching this video. Now let me present you where the tree was, which tree and where the location. I have spoken about the spiked fruit and so on. And let me demonstrate you where in the city of the Novo Mesto, as I was brainwashed, the case is going to be. Till the last year when I returned back from Poland, it's not going to be, I was told. But really, in 2017, before I left to Belarus, when I started to exercise, eating from the tree was just not good. It was just not a good stuff. This kind of trees, I must warn you also, you have to pay special attention to the fruit itself, otherwise you could end up with a rotten fruit and stuff like this. You have to know to pick the right fruit, or it can be really bad for you. So, but let me demonstrate you where exactly. I don't know. You're gonna see what kind of tree that is in English language. In Slovenian, this is known as a ringlo. Guaranteed me it's gonna be spiked, it's gonna be poisoned, it's gonna be neighbors, it's gonna be the police director is gonna have neighbors. That's another police director. It's a police director that retired a few days ago, a month ago or something like that, and became, rather than fired from a position of police director of the Novo Mesto police station because he was involved in shit beyond imaginable, car accident. His colleague, whom he had used for the torture actually, he tried to cover up for him. At a car crash that involved a pregnant lady and stuff like this. Crap, he became promoted to director of Slovenian police and so on. This is the room I slept last night, and just as I came home from work, from exercise, I opened that window right there. The only thing that happened was, you know, with the police horn, like, that's exactly from the other side of the river, where that main street is. Well, the time was around 1 o'clock in the morning when I had to sleep. And so all this shit, they told me during MK Ultra to remind me that I have to report this stuff to the police. They had the police officers involved in this stuff. And it was a police officer that told me during MK Ultra, and I'm gonna warn you, I'm gonna give you a sign for you to remember that you have to go to the police station and report at least this, so that we start somewhere. Another case, how to resolve this issues, I'm not gonna go into. They created a bunch of cases that supposedly I would resolve this case, but I have to say that in aquarium, inside of the aquarium, when literally you go for a walk and you come back and the car engine is replaced, can be replaced on your car. Crazy shit happened with the tires, as you know, all kinds of stuff like this. I would bet with this police absolutely into anything. This is a fucking insane aquarium. This is an aquarium that it's a Alice Wonderland. This is not fucking Disneyland. This is a crime Disneyland, basically. But this is how you go about the day. I mean, about the day. Okay, so if you did took pen and write it down, the stuff, like I said, cancer is on every four, between 3 to 400 for the most of the European countries. Between 3 and 400 on 100,000 people. That you would endure the shit like this, you yourself, that you would endure some crap like this, that you would go and some coincidence like this would happen to you, probably in 3 persons' lifetimes, maybe like this in lifetimes, no. Probably something like this. Who knows how many people would go to the health store like DM and go through something like this. This is beyond stupid shit. Sun Labor, or wherever it is, Sun Labor, it's not about the Sun Labor. What I was going to say, the employees were involved in this MK Ultra brainwash torture. It was a whole fucking shopping mall. It was all the stores in the area. And now it's how you go about the day. And let me think about, should I go and search for the job today? Should I go visit my father? Should I go post this online? Should I go and post more people I have identified? I have no idea how many, maybe few hundred, maybe 1,000 people more than I identified, and they're still nowhere on the internet. What do you guys, should I write a complaint to where? To the Mars? I heard there is new life on Mars or something like this. I mentioned earlier about domestic violence, and I mentioned earlier about my mother calling her a whore and a bitch. I didn't write this. I'm not sure whether I write this on a complaint or official complaint or complaint inside of the psychiatric hospital. I'm not sure. I have no idea what. But this year was 2013 when they hospitalized me. I told you that my father pointed a rifle at me. I had to run. See those trees far back there? That's a forest. That's a forest. And to get to that forest probably is I don't actually know. Maybe it's like 500 yards, maybe less, maybe 400, I don't know, 400 yards, 300, I don't know. I ran for my life when I was a kid. He pointed a rifle at me when I was a kid. When I was 12 years old, I had to fucking run to the forest to save myself from father strangling me. You know what the he forks are? If it wasn't for the neighbor that came at the end of the day, when I was working all day long, sorting out cut wood for the winter, he probably would pin me on those. And this is when I was young. I was maybe 14. I went fishing with him He wanted to kill me with the fishing with the paddle. I was called names that you have no idea in your lifetime you have ever heard. My mother put my hair out of my scalp to the degree I started to get bald. The names she called me, there is no limit to the names, to invention of her names in respect to myself. In 2007, before I left back to the US in 2008, I ran to the US because a psychiatrist, because a psychologist, they dispatched against me because I have proven beyond any doubt that it was a police station that violated the law because they would not investigate an individual whom I have paid parts for from Germany. They worked together. I have reported my mother for domestic abuse, physical attack, with pictures taken to the police station. It was 2 years since August of 2006 till I think April 2008 when I left to the US. I was nothing but the names you possibly cannot imagine. Used by my niece, by her husband, by my neighbors. What went on at MK Ultra, I'm not going to even say. It was 2012 when I first time used several times words bitch, whore, and it was that time that police, the state prosecutor, got the chance, actually that Vucic got a chance, that this is not the way to treat mama. Now it's going to be your turn for cancer. Just keep in mind about that issue, that this is the way it was. And it's also written on my blog, which I have released already in 2000 and no, I wouldn't touch, forget about touching. I wouldn't touch the subject. Her never, or father, with a small finger in my lifetime, if it wasn't like this. If I wouldn't gather all the proofs, if I would not release this, yeah, there was no assistance, it was police that covered up, never investigated anything, and now go and complain about this C vitamin at the DM, and let's see how much good it's gonna do you with the state prosecution, with the police like this.
This is where the politicians like Yanis, Janša, Peterle, whenever they would come to Novo Mesto, they would go right there and they would enjoy a view of the river itself. This also is a settlement where previously director of Slovenian police, he just retired now, Janez Ogulin. This is his settlement here, just house away from here. He has lived here in this place. This is his house. And since I spoke about spiked fruit and even wild flowers, this is about as close as I can come to point you out. Every time when I went through these settlements and I stopped with police investigators, they ran this thing. They would bring me right here and they would stop right there. It was actually one or two guys that were doing this. Two guys were doing this stuff. Nah, it was more than two. It depended who was with me on what they refer to as a special detail. They had to contact their superior. Okay, whether that be Janez Ogulin once he went to Ljubljana and this and that. before he became a Slovenian director of police. So that's his settlement right here that you see. A house away he's from here. Or Janez Ogulin, actually, sorry, Janez Ogulin, yeah, other. Anton Olaj became a Slovenian director of police. Or Janez Ogulin, who replaced him. For permission, literally for permission to eat fruit on a special detail from this tree here. Literally. They were afraid. But this tree always, like this, all the fruit went to waste. People wouldn't eat because of the cars that pass by, probably. However, when it comes close as spiked fruit, this is what I was told. Do not even think about here doing anything like this, as I did, as you see, on the other side of the road, just like investigators did it. So with the dust, the road is otherwise semi-closed. It's not very much used, this road. The cars go by, but not much. You can see yourself that there's not a lot of cars here going through. But what got my interest is the eagerness, the voracious attitude, the order basically to spike, the police order to the neighbors, and the neighbors alone gesturing when they came. Yeah, I'm gonna spike. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this to spike the tree. This is what was incredible. Before I went to Belarus in 2017, this actually could have really something to do with it. It really could have something to do with it. Because every time I eat this from this tree, I was sick. It really felt bad. So it could have been that did have something to do with it. It was impossible to resist. And further, I did not recall the stuff that went on here, literally with the police investigators who ran special details. So you wanna know who does this stuff? Who poisons the trees? Who sprays the trees with the poison? Spikes the trees? This is about as close as I can come. I can literally point out the houses, the people here who obligated, who pledged will do this stuff for the police. So there's your explanation about who does it. Next to this tree, there was God knows how many other locations, but locations involved forested area, deep in the nature and so on. You shouldn't try elderflower. You shouldn't even think about what's that that burns you. Absolutely everything that they're gonna spike. Whatever they took me on a tours during so-called MK Ultra. If this is MK Ultra to you, whatever they took me on a tours and demonstrated what to eat and this and that, that's exactly at the same time, simultaneously with that shit, they claim they're gonna spike. But this is as close as I can come here, yeah, as it comes. Who does this? Yeah, it's evident who does it, who did this stuff. Yeah, this is where director of the police, Janez Ogulin, is from. He said, he told me, if things are not going to be okay, he's going to keep a gun to himself, a weapon basically from employment, if things are not going to be okay with me, basically if I'm not going to keep my mouth shut about what went on. And interesting enough, I read the news about his retirement. He requested for the weapon. Hey, this guy death threatened on more occasions than what I can count possibly. So, not much traffic here, not much going on, but still. Dobar dan. See, I use this to flush the fruit anyways. I didn't just go and eat, not even like this, even it is on the side of the road, out away from the road, I still did go and flush that fruit really well before consuming one.
For better understanding, Anton Olaj is this man you see right here. In a political party he joined deliberately to destroy the tracks of his real being. He is SDS. That's a political party of Janez Janša. Not because he would be, not because I would appreciate this guy here. This is a snake. Pardon my expression, but this guy's no good. This guy's up to no fucking good. This guy is a backstabber. On first opportunity, you're gonna get the knife between the ribs. And then the only thing that's gonna follow is basically pointing finger at his adversaries, supposedly, even that he did work for UDBA, that's for the secret Serbian police known as Yugoslav police, UDBA. And the first individual, so for better understanding this here, this is this just went on into retirement. Just went into retirement as a Slovenian director of police. Rather than be fired, rather than being fired for involvement in incident in which he tried to cover up for his co-worker who caused a car crash to a pregnant lady. They promoted him into Slovenian director of police. This is an individual. And then you have a second one. You see, he learned about the politic, how to, at least even temporary or whatever it would be convenient. So it would look like this, and it would not look like that. So it will go with whatever account, whichever way the wind blows better. Since I was always against Milan Kučan, and I always supported under MK Ultra Peterle, Janša, and so on. And this year, so he acted against crime, we can say, against me since 1995, knowing that I was against Kučan. And later, when it became evident I'm not going to change and the case will come out, jumped into another political party so he would not look suspicious. And here you have suspicious is one way or the other. And here you have, there were Slovenian politicians that died in misery. I'm not going to say, I would also say pure misery, because they were not even capable to point the finger in reality about what went on, because this is how it is in Slovenia. And this here is a
police director of Novo Mesto police station, also involved since 1995 in numerous crimes. Just to clarify basically who is what, it is also the man who lately indirectly have triggered several death threats against me. Yes, there were death threats. They have rehearsed with me under MK Ultra so that I would memorize them. Police had tutored other people to indirectly convey me a message, death threats. I have them audio recorded. And this is the man that currently leads the Novo Mesto police station and was really obsessed with getting me in trouble, especially in front of the Roma community. This man right here that you see, yesterday no less than 2 attempts were exercised to portray me as somebody who would not who would be against the Roma community or something like this. This is the guy they bet. Milan Kucan, Borut Pahor, Tanja Fajon, Miran Potrč, Danilo Turk bet big on this guy. They had big dreams, big expectations with this guy here. This guy was 100% very confident how he's gonna, everything is gonna go on his windmill, basically. Windmill.